This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Welcome and thanks so much for joining us here on KPVM TV, on Ace Country Radio, and of course, News 25. The State Fire Marshal's Office is investigating the cause of another fire at the former Binion Ranch here in Pahrump. Someone called 911 after they spotted flames just before 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, and the Nevada State Fire Marshal were dispatched to a structure fire last night on Wilson Road at the former Binion Ranch. This is the second time that Binion Ranch has had fires on their property. The last time 3 structures burned, and that was in September of 2019. That suspected arson fire is still under investigation. The structure that burnt last night was built out of heavy timber, similar to railroad ties. Partially underground, the structure also had 18 inches of dirt on the roof. This property is currently under contract, according to real estate agent Lori Griffin, who said that she was due to sign the contract today. This property has been one that has been part of a criminal case that was pending in a Las Vegas courtroom. The previous owner has been arrested and charged with theft and elder abuse. The district attorney's contention was that the property and numerous other properties owned by the late Ralph and Betty McKnight were transferred over when the couple, who were in their 90s, were not of sound mind and body. Griffin said that this piece of real estate has a clear title and that there is no issue with the ownership. If you have any information as to the cause of this structure fire, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 775-751-7000. Well, after nearly 2 years of being required to wear a mask in public places, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak is following the leads of other states, citing an improvement in the state's COVID situation. The governor says, with some exceptions, you can ditch the mask effective immediately.
We have seen a rapid decline in case numbers, coupled with declining hospitalizations, a drop in COVID-19 detected in wastewater, and a broader availability of testing and an increase in available treatments. I cannot express my gratitude enough to all the frontline workers, particularly those in our healthcare settings, who have continued to provide care to Nevadans throughout this pandemic. To the Nevadans and travelers that have done the right thing, gotten vaccinated, stayed diligent, and protected each other for the last 2 years, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. All of us have had to sacrifice and deal with hardship during an unprecedented time. Despite that, students, teachers, moms, and dads have worked tirelessly to return to a sense of normalcy. Workers have remained on the front lines and have taken the appropriate steps to keep their coworkers and their communities safe. Given all of these updates and the tools that we now have, now is the appropriate time for me to announce that Nevada will rescind our mask mandate, effective immediately. Masks will no longer be required in public places, but there are still locations where you may be asked to wear a mask. Masks and protective equipment requirements in facilities serving vulnerable populations, like hospitals, clinics, and long-term care facilities, will be overseen at the direction of the Department of Health and Human Services. The safety of healthcare staff and patients are our top priority. Also, federally, masks are still mandated in airports, on planes, and on public buses and school buses. Teachers in schools will no longer be required to wear masks, but school districts will need to work with their local health authorities to have plans in place to deal with an outbreak.
Well, the Drug Enforcement Administration announced a new initiative, Operation Overdrive. This is aimed at combating the rising rates of drug-related violent crime and overdose deaths plaguing American communities. Last fall, DEA initiated a data-driven approach using national crime statistics and CDC data to identify hotspots of drug-related violence and overdose deaths across the country in order to devote its law enforcement resources to where they will have the most impact, the communities where criminal drug networks are causing the most harm. Operation Overdrive uses a data-driven, intelligence-led approach to identify and dismantle criminal drug networks operating in areas with the highest rates of violence and overdoses. DEA, working in partnership with its fellow federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, has mapped the threats and initiated enforcement operations against those networks in 34 locations across 23 states in the initial phase of Operation Overdrive. Today, the United States faces an unprecedented overdose epidemic, claiming 275 lives every day. Violence often associated with drug-related activity is also rising sharply. Nationwide in 2020, homicides increased a record 30%, and 77% of the murders in the United States were committed with a firearm. In 2021, DEA and its law enforcement partners seized more than 8,700 firearms connected to investigations of drug trafficking organizations. Well, many people in racial and ethnic minority groups are at increased risk for complications from COVID-19. It's important for those at high risk to get vaccinated, but some minority communities may be hesitant. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Tosin Goji says hesitancy is often rooted in the history of medical distrust and racial discrimination.
We have a lot that creates mistrust. But we have a lot also to lose by not protecting ourselves against coronavirus, because there's been a lot of morbidity and mortality in the Hispanic and African American community from it. So we need to ask questions, and once our questions are answered, we need to embrace this vaccine.
Some minority communities have higher rates of diabetes, obesity, heart disease, asthma, and other conditions. Many of these diseases are risk factors for severe COVID-19 infections because people with chronic conditions have compromised immune systems and are more susceptible to infections. Dr. Goji says getting the COVID-19 vaccine may mitigate these factors and help prevent severe coronavirus disease. She adds, when someone is vaccinated, they're protecting themselves, the community, and bringing us one step closer to ending the pandemic.
One of the things I can tell you as a woman of color is our communities, our faith-based missions, our churches are important to us. Getting this vaccine, slowing down the pandemic, shutting down the pandemic will help us go back to our normal lives.
Dr. Goji says vaccine hesitancy in minority communities should not be confused with being against vaccinations altogether. She encourages medical providers to ask why when someone declines a vaccine, answer their questions, and provide education about the vaccine.
Thanks so much, Dr. Goji. We'll have more news right after this.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, Clark County is asking businesses and nonprofit organizations to take a short survey so that officials may better understand local business conditions and develop programs that invest in the success of those businesses and nonprofits. Survey results will help the Clark County's Community and Economic Development Department as it works on new business support programs using American Rescue Plan Act funds to help stimulate local economic recovery and promote resiliency. For more information, go to clarkcountynv.gov. Well, Las Vegas is known as the wedding capital of the world, and for good reason. Thousands of couples tie the knot in Sin City each year, but a lesser-known wedding chapel located far off the Strip is making a name for itself. Today, we visit Chapel on the Corner in the heart of Henderson.
We get a lot of locals who grew up here and always said, oh, I want to be married in this chapel, and 15, 20 years later, we get to make that dream come true. We also get a lot of people who find us online through social media, and come here specifically to see the chapel. And the neat thing about that is then I get to explain to them for the first time. I get to tell them all about the revitalization of Water Street District, a little bit of the history. I get to tell stories that I love all the time that talk about the history and the connection here to Water Street. It is originally a town site home. It was built in, I believe, 1941, and it actually belonged to the Vincent family. It was the Vincent family home. They raised 9 children here. There's a lot of local history to it. And then it became a chapel in, I believe, 2000, maybe 2001. And since then, we've done thousands of weddings. And so I've got to see Henderson grow from what it was and to what it is now. We're an indoor facility, but also with an outdoor facility, as well as an outdoor covered facility. So we host ceremonies inside. We can host ceremonies outside, as you can see in this gazebo behind me. We do have an outdoor reception area that's covered. It's high-walled vegetation. It makes for a beautiful setting, especially during wedding season. We're lucky enough here in Henderson to have beautiful weather most of the year. So there's no better place to do an outdoor wedding but here. We have so much new, good food and great chefs here on Water Street that we get to the opportunity to have them cater different receptions and events that we have. And then I get to send everybody down the way and go visit all those places on Water Street. Primarily we do wedding ceremonies, receptions, renewals. We actually do some family parties, some private parties, corporate events. Something new that's been going on is we get catered corporate events. So this is a neat little setting that they can come, have a meal catered, talk about company business, Christmas party, that kind of thing. We're just a unique, beautiful place. Everything here is real. We don't have artificial grass, artificial plants anywhere. We have so many great things. I would encourage people to check out the Chapel House on Instagram, and every picture that we have on there was something that was done here. And if you went there and looked through a few pictures, you'll be able to see the transformation this place can have. And that's the great thing about it, and that's the neat thing about letting people do their own thing, is I get to witness and be part of so many different transformations that take place here. We are on social media pretty much in every format. We're on Facebook, Little Chapel on the Corner on Facebook, The Chapel House on Instagram. We've got our website, which is littlechapelonthecorner.com. It all connects to a phone number, email, social media. We get a variety of ways that people reach out to us. Anyone who doesn't really know about us, please feel free to schedule a tour. Any couples that are looking for a place, maybe a venue. Not only do we provide services, but we also do wedding planning, so we can help facilitate those things. When there's things that maybe we don't fit, we can help people plan whatever it is they're looking for, even if it might not specifically be here.
And speaking of weddings, if you're like our own co-anchor, Stacy Jensen, you're going to get married on one of those special number days coming up soon. Clark County Clerk opens pop-up marriage license offices at their airport for Valentine's 2/22/22 wedding rush. The temporary marriage license office will be at Harry Reid International Airport to help couples coming to Las Vegas for the upcoming special days and dates, including Valentine's Day, President's Day weekend, and the dates of 2/20/22 and Tuesday 2/22/22. The office will be open from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. daily from February 10th through the 22nd in the airport's Terminal 1 baggage claim near the carousel number 5. Well, it's time for this week's Medical Minute from Spring Mountain Medical. Today, Dr. Jacob Steckel explains how advanced physical manipulation may be able to help you live a more vibrant, active life.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical, healthcare the way you've always imagined it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Steckel with Spring Mountain Medical, your hometown health and wellness provider. Today I'm going to talk to you about promoting your body's response to pain through advanced physical manipulation. Being active is critical to living a life of health and wellness. In order to keep ourselves in top condition, we need to be active every day. Sometimes our activity is limited because of an injury, pain, or other limitations. Inflammation or injury can keep us from our lifestyles. If this is persisting long enough, we expose ourselves to a myriad of other health issues. Most people have never been treated with our advanced manipulation, massage, and deep tissue work. Doing so can allow you to live a more active and vibrant life. Come see me today. I'm Dr. Jacob Steckel, and this has been a Medical Minute brought to you by Spring Mountain Medical.
Your sports and more on the other side of this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, you know what's going on this weekend, but from local high school basketball to the Super Bowl, Doug Ferber has your Thursday Sports World Wrap-Up.
Hello, sports fans. Lots to cover. Let's get started. The Pahrump Valley High School girls basketball team hosts Boulder City, hoping to win league with a 10-0 record tomorrow night. The girls have shown dominance for 24 of their 25 games, beating their opponents by double figures each time. In their only loss in early January to Moapa Valley, the Lady Trojans lost by 4, 36-32, which begs the question, is this team road ready for the playoffs? Sophomore Paris Coleman, who has already been part of a state champion team playing soccer this past season, thinks her basketball team may also be special.
I think we're doing amazing. If we win these next 2 games, we're top in the league and we're first seed. I think if we keep up how we're playing right now, we won't have any issue with Sector right now or Boulder City on Friday. So I think we're doing amazing.
Coleman scored 15 points Tuesday night in the PVHS win at Southeast Tech. The boys team beat Southeast Tech Tuesday night 41-38. They are now 12-10 overall and 7-4 in league play, heading into their league finale tomorrow night at home against Boulder City. The PVHS wrestling team heads to Mesquite this weekend for the regional tournament. Coach Craig Rigger says he has a strong squad and looks to get more of his team qualified for the state tournament.
Out of going into regions, out of the 14 weight classes, we have 6 number 1 seeds. That's 6 of the weight classes where the boys were undefeated in dual matches. So we're excited for the 6 number 1 seeds. The other 8, we're hoping to get them qualified top 4.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights came off the All-Star break with a full head of steam, shutting out Edmonton Tuesday night 4-0, and then the steam evaporated in Calgary, losing to the Flames 6-0 last night. The Golden Knights, who sit atop the Pacific Division, are only weeks away from getting the use of superstar center Jack Eichel, who was acquired from Buffalo in a trade in early November. Eichel hasn't played in the NHL for more than a season due to a neck injury, but after surgery, Eichel is back on the ice practicing. He will be a key factor if the VGK takes a run at the Stanley Cup at the end of this season. This is Super Bowl week and the festivities have begun in Los Angeles, preparing for Sunday's matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams have lots of offensive weapons. The Rams have veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford in his 13th NFL season and first with the Rams. He says he's had a lot of support acclimating to his new team this season.
You know, there's been great support here, both with our team and throughout the community to help my family and myself kind of, integrate as quickly as we possibly could. And we're here today, getting this great opportunity to play in this game. So it's been a whole lot of fun.
On the other side of the field, second-year quarterback Joe Burrow, or Joe Cool as he's been tabbed, wants nothing more than to bring a Super Bowl title to his home state.
Well, to me personally, it would be being a part of bringing a Super Bowl to a team that hasn't ever won one. And growing up in Ohio, I understand how important that is to the state and to this region.
I'll have more on the big game in a special segment tomorrow during the KPVM News. If you have any inspirational stories, athletes, or ideas, send me an email at dougf@kpvm25.tv. Now back to the news desk.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, taking a look outside today, we're going to find out more about what's in store for your Super Bowl weekend weather right after this.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios on a Thursday. It reminds me, hey, it's almost the weekend, woohoo! And check out this weather map. Oh, gorgeous stuff. 61 degrees in Fernley, Fallon, and Carson City. Y'all are like weather triplets and stuff. Tonopah, Goldfield close behind in the upper 50s. 72 out in Beatty, 77 in Amargosa feels downright possible. I love it. And in fact, they achieved it today. Good job. Las Vegas, 75 degrees, and out in Death Valley, ooh, it's heating up, 85. But here in the paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. 70 degrees is our current temperature, we're heading down to a low tonight of 27 as the winds whisper gently to us of the possibilities of tomorrow out of the north-northeast to 6 miles per hour. Sun setting right now. If you want to take a good look, boy, I think it's pretty colors to witness. And we'll look forward to the sun rising again in all its glory and promise with the hope of a new day at 6:35 tomorrow. High tomorrow, 78 degrees, sunshine. Oh, we're going to have a beautiful clear day. Winds kicking up just a little bit out of the north to 9 miles per hour, but as we head into the weekend, it is looking good. Look at this. Clear skies next couple, 3 days, temperatures ranging to the upper 70s on Friday and into the mid 70s on Saturday, Sunday. But Monday, looks like we're going to be picking up some wind. And in fact, on Tuesday, they're talking it could be even more ferocious than we're looking at with 16 mile per hour average gusts. They might actually have a wind advisory for us on Tuesday. We're keeping an eye on that, but look at the temperatures dropping down a good 14 degrees between Monday and Tuesday. I don't know if I like that trend, but it looks like on Thursday, we see some recovery. So, there's hope for a new day. And it's going to be a great weekend. So make plans. Back to the desk.
Well, starting tomorrow, February 11th, Clark County and participating government agencies will host a series of surplus auctions online this month for vehicles and equipment and miscellaneous items on TNT Auctions website at tntauction.com. All bidding for the auction will take place online. Once again, tntauction.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Have a great night.